You know what? Protecting ourselves from disease-carrying pests like mosquitoes will soon be a priority in the warmer months, but right now happens to be Mosquito Awareness Week, and we don't want these little guys to put a damper on your seasonal plans. So we brought in pros from the Sacramento Mosquito Vector. We have a public information officer with the Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District. Her name is Luza Maria Robles. It's so great to have you here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Pleasure.
You know, it's been really soggy lately.
It has. We've gotten a lot of rain.
And what does that mean for mosquitoes?
Well, basically, it means that we're probably gearing up for a very, very busy mosquito season. As you know, mosquitoes need water to begin their life cycle, and that we have plenty of.
Yes.
So that just means that there's a lot of areas that can and will likely become mosquito breeding sources.
Okay, and so why should that be a concern for our viewers? Why should they be paying attention to the mosquito population?
Well, they should definitely be paying attention because, as you know, mosquitoes are more than a nuisance. They can transmit very serious diseases such as West Nile virus. West Nile virus continues to be a very big threat in our area. Last year in California, there was almost 450 confirmed human cases, including 19 fatalities. So West Nile virus is still a big issue. To date, we do not have any West Nile virus activity. That usually we see a little bit later in the season when the warmer weather is a little more steady. But we're definitely sure that with all the water, it will be a very busy mosquito season.
Okay, and that's something we definitely need to keep aware of, because like you'd mentioned, I mean, I think a lot of people consider West Nile virus as something that's kind of, you know, in the past we dealt with it, but it's still very much alive and well and something that is a health issue.
It's very well established throughout California, but especially here in our region, and it's something that we really want people to still
protect themselves from.
Protect themselves, correct.
Yeah, and so how do we do that? How do we help control the mosquito population around our properties? Because that's a big factor when it comes to trying to prevent West Nile, right?
Exactly right. So as an agency, we would like for people to be responsible and inspect their homes for any stagnant water, and anything that can hold water, even a small teaspoon of water, is a good place where mosquitoes can breed. So we ask that at least once a week people go around their yard, inspect it, dump any stagnant water from buckets, containers, plant saucers, the pet dish,
bird baths,
the pond. And actually, if you have a large body of water that can't be dumped, then mosquito fish are a good solution for that.
Put mosquito fish like in a pond or something that possibly doesn't circulate a lot. And you and I were chatting before the show about how a lot of people watching really don't realize that mosquitoes do come from water.
Exactly.
This is a great example of what they look like when they are in the water. I think people who are unfamiliar may see this and go, oh look, I have little teeny tadpoles.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, no, those aren't frogs, right?
No, they're mosquitoes. So if you leave a bucket of water and you see these developing, and basically mosquitoes have a 4-stage life cycle, and 3 of those happen in the water. So a mosquito lays eggs on the surface of the water. Those eggs hatch into larvae, the little wiggly things that you see here. And then from a larva, they turn into a pupa. From a pupa, then they emerge as adults. The hotter the temperature, the quicker they will complete their life cycle, which is why we have so many more mosquitoes in the summer. In the peak of summer, they can complete their life cycle in as little as 4 to 7 days.
Really?
And when you think about the fact that one female mosquito alone can lay between 50 to 200 eggs at a time, and they can lay eggs a couple times a week, that would explain why we have so many mosquitoes.
Exactly,
yes.
Okay, and so it's these little guys, and I know a certain type of mosquito, but it's mosquitoes that pass West Nile.
Yes.
What are
only
some of the symptoms?
Only two species. Out of the 20 species that we have here in Sacramento and Yolo County, only 2 species can transmit West Nile virus.
But it's still a health risk, though, and even though it's only the 2 species, people still need to protect themselves. What are some of the symptoms of West Nile, though?
So the symptoms of West Nile virus is 80% of people don't have any symptoms at all, but 20% of people develop what we call a West Nile virus fever. So fever, headaches, fatigue, you actually feel like you have a cold or a flu. And then 1 in 150 people develop the very severe neuroinvasive form of the disease. So the meningitis, the encephalitis, the cases that are more serious, which can lead to death.
But and that would probably attribute to the fatalities that you were mentioning from last year, the 19 fatalities. Okay, this clearly is not a real mosquito, but we have to talk about it because it's huge. It's kind of the elephant in the room. This is just a great example of how mosquitoes bite you. You were telling me that these should actually be inside the, what is this called?
Their proboscis, or their biting apparatus.
Yeah, but this is basically their kitchen knives, if you will, right?
Yeah,
Like, so how they cut into you and then how they suck suck your blood.
Yeah, they do, and
Okay.
only the female mosquitoes bite. It's important that people know that. So male mosquitoes, they help a little bit with pollination, and then the female mosquitoes need to feed because they use the protein in our blood to be able to lay eggs and continue that life cycle.
Okay, and we want to make sure that people are aware of how to protect themselves, how to do the process that you already mentioned about going around your home, dumping the water, making sure there's no holes in your screen, making sure that you're wearing protective repellent, long sleeve shirts. We all know the drill. Let's make sure we stick to it. But if people still need reference, where should they go?
So they can always visit us online if they want to require either a home service inspection, mosquito fish for their pond or fountain. If they need free repellent, we offer that as well, free presentation for your community group or school. Visiting us at fightthebite.net or calling us at 1-800-429-1022 to request any of our services.